Praise God, everybody. All right, so we are on Proverbs chapters 3 through 7 today. So I am going to go ahead and get started. That way we can go over some of the notes and everything that I found for Proverbs. So welcome. All right, chapter 3. My son, do not forget my law, but let your heart keep my commands. For length of days and long life and peace they will add to you. Let not mercy and truth forsake you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart, and so find favor and high esteem in the sight of God and men. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. In all of your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. It will be health to your flesh and strength to your bones. Honor the Lord with your possessions and with the first fruits of all of your increase. So your barns will be filled with plenty, and your vats will overflow with new wine. I almost said your horns instead of barns. Oh my gosh. My son, do not despise the chastening of the Lord, nor detest his correction. For whom the Lord loves, he corrects, just as a father, the son in whom he delights. Happy is the man who finds wisdom and the man who gains understanding, for her proceeds are better than the profits of silver, and her gain than fine gold. She is more precious than rubies, and all the things that you may desire cannot compare to her. Length of days is in her right hand, in her left hand riches and honor. Her ways are the ways of pleasantness, and all of her paths are peace. She is a tree of life to those who take hold of her, and happy are all who retain her. The Lord by wisdom founded the earth. By understanding, he established the heavens. By his knowledge, the depths were broken up, and the clouds dropped down the dew. Verse 21. My son, let them not depart from your eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion, so that they will be life to your soul and grace to your neck. Then you will walk safely in your way, and your foot will not stumble. When you lie down, you will not be afraid. Yes, you will lie down, and your sleep will be sweet. Do not be afraid of sudden terror, nor of trouble from the wicked when it comes. For the Lord will be your confidence, and will keep your foot from being caught. Do not withhold good from those to whom it is due, when it is in the power of your hand to do so. Do not say to your neighbor, go and come back, and tomorrow I will give it, when you have it with you. Do not devise evil against your neighbor, for he dwells by you for safety's sake. Do not strive with a man without cause, if he has done you no harm. Do not envy the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. For the perverse person is an abomination to the Lord, but his secret counsel is with the upright. The curse of the Lord is on the house of the wicked, but surely he scorns the scornful, but gives grace to the humble. The wise shall inherit glory, but shame shall be the legacy of fools. That's pretty deep. Chapter 4. Hear, my children, the instruction of a father, and give attention to know understanding, for I give you good doctrine. Excuse me. I apologize. Do not forsake my law. When I was my father's son, tender, and the only one in the sight of my mother, and she will preserve you. Love her, and she will keep you. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. And in all your getting understanding, exalt her, and she will promote you. She will bring you honor when you embrace her. She will place, on your head an ornament of grace, a crown of glory she will deliver to you. Hear, my son, and receive my sayings, and the years of your life will be many. I've taught you in the way of wisdom. I've led you in right paths. When you walk, your steps will not be hindered, and when you run, you will not stumble. Take firm hold of instruction. Do not let go. Keep her, for she is your life. Do not enter the path of the wicked, and do not walk in the way of evil. Avoid it and do not travel on it. Turn away from it and pass on. For they do not sleep unless they have done evil, and their sleep is taken away unless they make someone fall. For they eat bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. But the path of the just is like the shining sun that shines ever brighter unto the perfect day. The way of the wicked is like darkness. They do not know what makes them stumble. My son, give attention to my words. Incline your ears to my sayings. Do not let them depart from your eyes. Keep them in the midst of your heart, for they are life to those who find them, and health to all of their flesh. Keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it spring the issues of life. Put away from you a deceitful mouth, and put perverse lips far from you. Let your eyes look straight ahead, and your eyelids look right before you. Excuse me. Oh, goodness. Ponder the path of your feet, and let all of your ways be established. Do not turn to the right or to the left. Remove your foot from evil. So good. So good. Proverbs chapter 5. My son, pay attention to my wisdom. Lend your ear to my ending. Sorry about the interruption, guys. Sorry about that. I don't know why it did that, because usually on the laptop it doesn't, but I can only think that it's the inclement weather. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. I don't remember where we were at before. I think, okay. We paused for a second to let Margaret know that we were on Proverbs 5, verse 5. So we'll pick up there. All right. Her feet coat. I'm glad that I caught it, because I would have just kept reading and it would have just been buffering. I have my phone on silence, so I wouldn't have gotten my messages, but nevertheless, we're here, so I will finish. Okay, so her feet go down to death, her steps lay hold of hell. Least you ponder her path of life, her ways are unstable, you do not know them. Therefore, hear me now, my children, and do not depart from the words of my mouth. Remove your way far from her, and do not go near the door of her house, lest you give your honor to others and your ears to the cruel one. Lest aliens be filled with all your wealth, and your labors go to the house of a foreigner. And this isn't talking about real aliens, like what they're trying to say in the news. This is saying like people from outside your country, foreigners, Verse 11, and you mourn at last when your flesh and your body are consumed, and say, how I have hated instruction, and my heart despised correction. I have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined my ear to those who instructed me. I was on the verge of total ruin in the midst of the assembly and congregation. Drink water from your own cistern, and running water from your own well. Should your fountains be dispersed abroad, streams of water in the streets, let them be only your own and not for strangers with you. Let your fountain be blessed and rejoice with the wife of your youth, as a loving deer and a graceful doe. Let her breasts satisfy you at all times and always be enraptured with her love. For why should you, my son, be enraptured by an immoral woman and be embraced in the arms of a seductress? For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he ponders all of his paths. His own iniquities entrap the wicked man, and he is caught in the cords of his sin. He shall die for lack of instruction, and in the greatness of his folly he shall go astray. Chapter 6. God bless you. I'm glad that you were able to tune in today. Yay! We miss you. Chapter 6. My son, if you become surety for your friend, if you have shaken hands in pledge for a stranger, you are snarled by the words of your mouth. You are taken by the words of your mouth. So do this, my son, and deliver yourself, for you have come into the hand of your friend. Go and humble yourself. Plead with your friend. Give no sleep to your eyes, nor slumber to your eyelids. Deliver yourself like a gazelle from the hand of the hunter, and like a bird from the hand of the fowler. Go to the ant, you sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise, which having no captain, overseer, or ruler, provides her supplies in the summer, and gathers her food in the harvest. How long will you slumber, O sluggard? When will you rise from your sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall your poverty come on you like a prowler, and your need like an armed man. A worthless person, a wicked man, walks with a perverse mouth. He winks his eyes and he shuffles his feet. He points his fingers. Perversity is in his heart. He devises evil continually, and he sows discord. Therefore his calamity shall come suddenly. Suddenly he shall be broken without remedy. Verse 16. These 6 things the Lord hates, yes, 7 are an abomination to him: a proud look, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans, feet that are swift in running to evil, a false witness who speaks lies, and one who sows discord among brethren. Verse 20. My son, keep your father's command and do not forsake the law of your mother. Bind them continually upon your heart. Tie them around your neck. When you roam, they will lead you. When you sleep, they will keep you. And when you awake, they will speak to you. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is a light. Reproofs of instructions are a way of life, to keep you from the evil woman, from the flattering tongue of a seductress. Do not lust after her beauty in your heart, nor let her allure you with her eyelids. For by means of a harlot, a man is reduced to a crust of bread, and an adulteress will prey upon his precious life. I mean, these words are serious. Can a man take fire to his bosom, and his clothes not be burned? Can one walk on hot coals, and his feet not be seared? So is he who goes into his neighbor's wife. Whoever touches her shall not be innocent. People do not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy himself when he is starving. Yet when he is found, he must restore 7-fold. He may have to give up all the substance of his house. Whoever commits adultery with a woman lacks understanding. He who does so destroys his own soul. Wounds and dishonor he will get, and his reproach will not be wiped away. For jealousy is a husband's fury. Therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. He will accept no recompense, nor will he be appeased, though you give many gifts. And then the last chapter of the day, chapter 7. My son, keep my words and treasure my commands within you. Keep my commands and live, and my law as the apple of your eye. Bind them on your fingers, write them upon the tablet of your heart. Say to wisdom, you are my sister, and call understanding your nearest kin, that they may keep you from the immoral woman, from the seductress who flatters with her words. For at the window of my house I looked through my lattice, and saw among the simple, I perceived among the youths, a young man devoid of understanding, passing along the street near her corner, and he took the path to her house, in the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night. And there a woman met him with the attire of a harlot and a crafty heart. She was loud and rebellious. Her feet would not stay at home. At times she was outside, at times she was in the open square, lurking at every corner. So she caught him and kissed him. With an impudent face, she said to him, I have peace offerings with me. Today I have paid my vows, so I came out to meet you, diligently to seek your face, and I have found you. I've spread my bed with tapestry, colored coverings of Egyptian linen. I've perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of love until the morning. Let us delight ourselves with love, for my husband is not at home. This is so good because it's talking about like real life situations, but also who's not home, who's not here right now, Jesus. So it's literally talking about the immoral woman that, the other bride, the one that gets rejected at the end. So this is so good. Okay, where was I? For my husband is not at home, verse 19. He has gone on a long journey. Verse 20, he has taken a bag of money with him and will come home on the appointed day. With her enticing speech, she caused him to yield. With her flattering lips, she seduced him. Immediately he went after her as an ox goes to the slaughter, or as a fool to the correction of the stocks, till an arrow struck his liver, as a bird hastens to the snare. He did not know it would cost his life. Now, therefore, listen to me, my children. Pay attention to the words of my mouth. Do not let your heart turn aside to her ways. Do not stray into her paths, for she has cast down many wounded, and all who were slain by her were strong men. Her house is the way to hell, descending to the chambers of death. Woo! I don't know. That was just so powerful. My goodness. Okay, so we started on chapter 3. I'm not going to do the Dake's Cliff Notes for this one, but I am going to do the review since we kind of had an interruption today. But this was so good. So good. I am going to leave one little nugget because I think it's relevant. So the 4 men that fell into the hands of a seductress were Samson in Judges 16, David in 2 Samuel, Solomon in 1 Kings 11, and also it talks about it in Nehemiah 13, and then Herod in Matthew chapter 14. Okay, so Proverbs 3. Trust and submission align life with God's direction. This chapter emphasizes trusting God fully rather than relying on personal understanding. It calls for acknowledging God in every area of life, promising that He will direct the path. It also connects wisdom with stability, peace, and long-term blessings, showing that obedience is not restrictive but life-giving. This reveals that direction comes from alignment and not from control. Trusting God above personal reasoning positions our lives under divine direction and favor. The devotional truth of this chapter is that God directs the life that is fully submitted to Him. And the leadership truth is that leaders must trust God beyond their own logic and their own experiences. The leadership nuggets that I found was partial trust creates instability, but full trust produces clarity. Leaders must involve God in every decision and not just major ones. Submission isn't a lost control, it is alignment with a greater perspective. Let's see. And then 4, guarding the heart determines the course of life. This chapter centers on the importance of internal focus. The heart is described as the source from which life flows, making it essential to protect what influences it. The instructions are direct. Pursue wisdom intentionally. Hold on to it. Guard your inner life carefully. This reveals that direction in life begins internally before it is expressed externally. The condition of the heart determines the direction and outcome of our life. The devotional truth of this chapter is that what we protect internally shapes how we live externally. The leadership truth is that leaders must guard their inner life to sustain outward effectiveness. And then the extra nuggets was influence matters. All influences matter. Leaders must monitor what they allow into their thinking, emotions, and decision making. Clear direction is maintained when the inner life is aligned with the Lord. Proverbs chapter 5, wisdom protects against moral compromise. This chapter warns against the dangers of moral failure, particularly in the area of relationships. It highlights how destructive choices can appear to be appealing but lead to long-term consequences. The contrast between temporary pleasure and lasting impact is very clear. Wisdom preserves us while compromise destroys us. This reveals that discipline is necessary to maintain our integrity. Wisdom provides protection by revealing the true outcome of deceptive choices. And the devotional truth of this chapter is that God's guidance protects us from hidden consequences, because the devil never tells us what the real consequences are. The leadership truth of this chapter is leaders must maintain discipline to protect their integrity, right? Because we carry Christ, so we need to be integritous, right? The extra nuggets is short-term choices have long-term effects. Leaders must evaluate decisions beyond immediate benefit. Integrity must be protected intentionally and not assumed. Proverbs 6, responsibility, discipline, and awareness prevent downfall. This chapter addresses several practical areas: financial responsibility, diligence, avoiding destructive behaviors. It also lists attitudes and actions that God opposes, including pride and dishonesty. This reveals that many challenges can be avoided through disciplined living. I know we hate that word, right? But it's so good. Wisdom prevents unnecessary problems through foresight and discipline, because he can see ahead, so he warns us, right? The devotional truth of this chapter is that God provides instruction to guard against avoidable trouble. The leadership truth is that leaders must practice discipline and personal accountability. And the extra nuggets for leaders in this chapter is that avoidable mistakes often come from a lack of awareness or discipline. Leaders must develop habits that prevent problems rather than consistently reacting to problems. Responsibility builds credibility and trust. Proverbs chapter 7, discernment guards against deception. This chapter presents a vivid example of someone lacking discernment and being drawn into destructive behavior. The focus isn't just on the act, but the process, how gradual compromise leads to collapse. The warning is clear: without wisdom and discernment, it's easy to be led astray. This reveals that protection requires our awareness and discipline. Lack of discernment creates vulnerability to deception and also failure. The devotional truth of this chapter is that wisdom protects those who stay alert and aware. And the leadership truth is that leaders must develop discernment to avoid subtle forms of compromise. Because remember, it starts small, It starts with that extra piece of cake. Then you start buying Little Debbie snacks. Then you start eating the whole box. And yeah, I'm just giving those as an example, Leadership nuggets. Deception often develops gradually, not suddenly. Leaders must stay alert to patterns and not just outcomes. Consistent awareness protects against a slow drift into harmful decisions. So altogether, this section of Proverbs reveals a strong and practical progression. Proverbs 3 establishes trusting God as the foundation. Proverbs 4 emphasizes guarding our inner life. Proverbs 5 is a warning against moral compromise. Chapter 6 highlights discipline and responsibility, and 7 reinforces the need for discernment. These chapters show that wisdom isn't abstract. It is applied daily through our choices, discipline, and awareness. Trust in God sets the foundation, while internal alignment, moral boundaries, and discernment sustain it. God is revealed as both guide and protector, offering instruction that prevents unnecessary harm. This progression makes it clear that a life that's built on wisdom requires both trust in God and intentional personal responsibility. Godly leaders trust God fully, guard their inner life carefully, maintain moral clarity, practice discipline, and develop strong discernment. They understand that leadership strength is preserved not just through ability, but through consistent alignment with His wisdom. And the key leadership truth for all 5 chapters is that wise leadership isn't built just through knowledge, but through disciplined living, guarded integrity, and consistent trust in God. And then I went a little bit further. Since we're in the Proverbs, I told you guys I was going to kind of dig a little bit and give y'all some extra nuggets. So I am going to give a few extra nuggets. So today we started, what was it, on chapter 4, right? Let me just double check. Chapter 3, okay. Okay, so trust in God's wisdom over your own. Core wisdom. God's perspective will outperform your experience every time. In layman's terms, Proverbs 3 can be summed up in: stop trying to control everything, trust God's instructions, even when they don't make immediate sense, honor Him first, and He will direct your path. The Kingdom Insight, Miles Monroe style, because I really love Miles. The Creator knows the purpose of the creation. Your life functions best when you follow the manufacturer's instructions. The financial side of this is: the most successful people aren't always the smartest. They're often the most teachable. Humility creates access to wisdom. Okay, and then Proverbs chapter 4, guard your heart like your greatest asset. The core wisdom of this chapter is that your inner life determines your outer results. The layman's terms of this chapter is: protect what enters your mind and your heart. Your thoughts become decisions, decisions become habits, and habits become your future. The Kingdom Insight is: everything you produce flows from your heart. And if the source is healthy, the fruit will be healthy. And the financial side of it and success principle is that every successful business leader guards their environment. The wrong voices can bankrupt vision long before money disappears. And then Proverbs chapter 5, avoid counterfeit pleasure. The core wisdom of this one is temporary pleasure can create permanent consequences. The layman's terms for this chapter, summarized as a whole: not everything attractive is beneficial. Shortcuts, compromises, and unhealthy relationships eventually carry a cost. The Kingdom Insight, Miles Monroe style: the enemy often packages destruction as opportunity. And the finance and success principle is: many people lose what took years to build because they could not resist what only lasted moments. Proverbs 6, discipline prevents disaster. The core wisdom of this chapter is that laziness, carelessness, and pride create unnecessary struggles. The layman's terms for the whole chapter is learn from the ant, be proactive, plan ahead, avoid unnecessary debt, gossip, division, and laziness. The kingdom insight, Miles Monroe's style again. God blesses stewardship, not merely our desires. And the financial and success principle is success is usually boring, consistency, repeated over time. That is so true, because every millionaire, if you just think about it, their lives are kind of boring in a lot of areas. They eat the same toast every day. It's just, they're very disciplined. Proverbs chapter 7, discern the trap before it's too late. Core wisdom. Wisdom sees the trap before emotion takes over. The layman's terms for this chapter is many people don't fall because they're evil. They fall because they're naive. Be aware of hidden agendas, temptations, and also distractions. Everybody always talks about agendas and temptations, but we don't really talk about those little distractions. Just a flare up over here can be a distraction from something that God's trying to show you right now, and it could just be something so stupid, but it seems carries a lot of weight. But if we shift our focus to that, then we'll miss out on what he's trying to do over here, So distractions, that's something God's been highlighting to me in this season. I am learning to push through even in the midst of that kind of thing, So I encourage you guys to do the same. And a one-liner for chapter 7 is, if you don't recognize the trap, you'll mistake it as a blessing. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. I pray that you guys have been encouraged. Yes, key is to be a good steward. Yes, that is the key. That is the key. Everything that we're giving, everything that we've been given in this life is the Lord's. And so if we're serving him with our home, we're serving him with our vehicle, we're serving him with our finances, we're serving him in our relationships. Like I was talking to my daughter yesterday driving, and I said, every relationship is ministry to me. I don't turn it off. When I'm ministering to you and doing what I'm supposed to do as a mom, that's ministry. When I'm ministering on the phone to the different people that are connected, that's ministry. When I'm going to feed the homeless, that's ministry. When I am working as unto the Lord, that's ministry. Everything that I do is ministry. And I was just telling her, everything that I have is the Lord's. I don't hold anything back. I give out of my finances and resources, many times above and beyond the tithe, because I love the Lord that much. And he's just so good to me. I give out of generosity because I want to have a generous heart. And in this last 2 years, every time I give, I put generosity because I am breaking poverty mentality off of my life. And I want to see the generosity of the Lord in my life. I celebrate others. I'm not jealous of somebody else's promotion. I like to push people forward. I like to clap when nobody is even paying attention to me. I'm still clapping for them. I'm still showing up. I'm still cheering them on, and I do a lot of work from the background that people don't even know about because I'm not worried about being seen because it's as unto the Lord, and a lot of times I look around and I'm like, I don't see fruit. I don't see fruit, but my fruit isn't in the same way that you would expect it to be. It's out there, every person's life that I touch, every inbox that I send, every email that I send, every text that I send, every phone conversation that I have, with people. Some people come to me because they can't even call their leadership, but I'm able to break things down to them in layman's terms. And then they're able to pick up what's been being dropped, and that's still a ministry to the body of Christ. It's still a service. And I know y'all can relate because I know each of you guys do different things as well. Just even being at home and spending time in prayer is ministry as unto the Lord. our little $10 offerings, if that's all we can give is $10, that is ministry as unto the Lord, because the Lord sees it as your best, especially if you can't afford to give more than that. Many are on fixed incomes. You might only be able to give $80 a month, but God sees that as $1 million. A millionaire can give $1 million because that's nothing to them, but a hundredaire can only give maybe 100 of our life as ministry. When we rise up and as we cook, as we clean, as we do all the menial tasks of the day, even going to doctor's appointments, Herman, and Margaret, y'all are ministering to people in the doctor's office. You're ministering to the doctors. You're ministering to the nurses. That's ministry. Nina, she goes and gets the dialysis. She's ministering to the people in dialysis. People are watching her lifestyle. Other dialysis patients are watching her go through it with joy and with perseverance, and they're being encouraged by her life. She's ministering to her son by showing up every day, going to those appointments, all the things, it's ministry. So I just want to encourage you guys, when you think that you don't have anything to give to the Lord, look around and think about everything in your life. Your life literally is an offering unto the Lord. Everything that you have belongs to the Lord, and everything that you have is coming back to the Lord. Every time you hug a sister, every time you call a brother, all of those things God sees as seeds planted, in the garden of life. And we will see harvest in the times that we need it the most. We send out condolences. We may sow into other people so that they can bury a meal train going and somebody's been in the hospital or whatever. All of that comes back. I'm just like, the devil is a liar. All of that comes back to us. So I want to leave you guys with that and just say, be encouraged. Look for the patterns in your life. If you're seeing a pattern that you don't like, ask the Lord to give you the wisdom and the instruction, and then also the will to do and make the changes, whether it's changes in our eating, changes in exercise, changes in our giving, changes in our work patterns, whatever it is. God can fix us. God can heal us. God can do all the things. We just need to learn how to lean into him, lean on him, rely on him. Stop trying to do it in your own strength, because it's never going to work in our own strength, and trust him because he's the builder of our lives. He's the builder. Amen. And yes, our lives are evangelism. They sure are. Everywhere that we go, we are either putting a stain on the body of Christ, or we are adding to the body of Christ, So, and we may fail some days, and we may have to go to the Lord and say, God, I had an attitude with such and such. I shouldn't have, answered this way. I was a little too harsh. Please forgive me. And then leave it at the cross. Get back up and move on with your life. Do not get stuck in condemnation, because we won't always get it right, because we still have flesh and we still have carnality. And unfortunately, that's something that ain't going away. So we're bound to make a mistake, and we have a natural bent towards sin. But if we continue to lean in and trust in God, understand our identity in him, and press into him, he will make all things work together for his good. So I love you guys. God bless you, and enjoy the rest of your day. See you guys back on Monday. Is it Friday? Oh, it's Thursday. Okay, see you guys back tomorrow. I'm like, wait a minute. I think it's Friday. See y'all Monday. Love you.